Okay, so these are our original instructional slides. Let's take a look at these two photos. All right, so this is all leading up to what we're going to be doing in the pretest in just a minute. Okay, so look at these two photos. What is the subject of this first photo? So we've got these two people sitting, having coffee or tea or something. What is the subject of that photo? Is there a subject? Is there one subject? Is there two subjects? And how can you tell that that is the subject? Kaylee said the people. Definitely. I could definitely see that. Yes, the people. Anything else? Any other guesses? So if I had to guess, I would say the same thing that Kaylee said. Yes. I don't really know what the subject is when I look at it. It's a little bit confusing, right? It's like, I don't know which person is supposed to be looked at first. I don't know who's more important. I actually feel like the T is in the middle, and it could be either of the people. So we have the two people and we have the T. I'm confused. I don't know which one is the subject. I think it might be the people and the T. They all look equal to me. So yes, you're right, Kaylee. That's what I think. How about the second one? This is also another confusing one. Kaylee said the fabric on the floor. So there's fabric on the floor here, the sheets. Yes, so the fabric in the front, the sheets. It looks like an empty building of some kind, maybe a storefront in a mall or something. Yeah. Is anyone else confused about the subject of this one? Maybe the sheet. Is it that white thing that looks like a stormtrooper in the corner? How about the big space behind it? The leading lines to the skateboard. Is that a skateboard? But yeah, so that I love that. I love that you're using the leading lines, Elijah, because that should help us. So the reason that these are so confusing is because the leading lines aren't helping. The center that normally we look at isn't really helping us. The thing that's in the foreground is literally a piece of fabric. So we're like, is that the subject? Overall, very confusing. And that's what we don't want in our photography, especially for this alphabet assignment. We really want to make sure that people know what the subject is. Like the subject is the letter A or the subject is the letter M. We don't want people to be confused by our letters. So let's take a look at the next slide. This one, hopefully these are easier. Okay, these are hopefully easier. What is the subject of these photos and how can you tell that? So let's look at the first one. Kaylee said the first one, the tree is the subject. That's what I think. I think it's the tree. Anyone else agree that it's the tree?
No, it's the land. You see those lines right under the tree and like past the tree, there's like a giant line of land. You see it.
So there is some land, yes. But they're all of equal, they're all equally though. The lines are going across horizontally. So the water is equal to the sky. They're both equal proportions, equal in the center, equally beautiful, equally colorful. What are some things that make you think it's the tree? How about rule of thirds? Aaliyah, yeah. Oh, good. Okay, so Aaliyah said that the tree photo reminds her of when we did foreground, middle ground, and background. Yes, that's very, very true. So this tree has a presence in the, where do you think it's at, Aaliyah? Speaking of that, foreground, middle ground, background, where do you think it's at? Okay, so we know that the tree is the subject because Aaliyah mentioned that the where it's at, it's not in the background, is it? It's in what's more in the foreground. So that's a good indicator. Also, Kaylee thinks it's the tree because it's super dark and it catches your eyes. Yes, and it's just standing, and also it's standing alone. Yes, so that's a really good technique also, is having really bright skies, and then we have one really dark thing. You can have a really dark background and have one bright thing. This is different. All of it's bright and there's one dark thing. Good. So having it be opposite tells us that it's using rule of thirds, so the placement And then where it's at as far as being in the foreground, those are all fantastic indicators of why that's the subject. You guys are awesome. Okay, how about the second picture? Take a look at the second picture. What do you think? Annika said the ice cream. Anybody agree with ice cream? I agree with ice cream. I agree. Kaylee said yes, the ice cream. Me too. I say ice cream. What makes you think it's, what makes us think it's the ice cream? What are some indicators that we're supposed to be looking at ice cream here? It's right in the middle? Yes. Anything else besides being in the middle? Do you guys see any leading lines to the ice cream? Annika said it's the first thing we see. Does that do anything? Absolutely, yeah. It catches our eye because it's in the middle. It has some red strawberries around it that make it really pop. Elijah says the pattern on the carpet are some leading lines. Yes, the pattern on the carpet has some leading lines. How about the hands? All of the hands are reaching in to the center. So those are some leading lines. We've got hands, we've got the lines on the rug, the straight attraction to it because it's in the center, it's big, it's round, it's got color around it. There are so many things that help us to know. So this is the type of picture that we want to have for this assignment because we want to make sure people know what our subject is. We don't want them to say, is that a tree or is it supposed to be the letter L? Like we want them to know these are letters and how we can see them right away. Good, you guys. So these are the slides we had before. I'm going to skip past those because we already looked at that. Now I want to find out how much you guys in total already know about the vocabulary words that we're going to be looking at today. All right, guys, so I put the link in the chat. Go ahead and open it. It's a vocab pretest. I just want to see what you already know. That way I know how much information I need to give you. So go ahead and click on the link and take the pretest. All right, now two of the questions you're just going to answer regular. One of the questions is going to ask you to give me an example, as in a photo. So what you can do is you can Google search for a photo that's going to show framing, or a picture that you already have. You might have one in your drive that is that's already using framing. If you find one online and you click on it, you can save it for just a moment. And then when you go to turn it in to the form, you can add it from your downloads. Yeah. All right. Just a second, Kaden. Let's finish up. All righty. All right. Let's take a look at how we did. I'm going to turn the vocab test into, let's see. Responses. Let's turn this into a spreadsheet really quick. All right. Go down to our class period. There we go. There's us. All right, so here are some of the answers. Let me move your names out of the way. Right there. Okay, so here are your answers, some of your class answers. What does cropping mean? It means that you would have to make the picture smaller to only show his face. Excellent. Perfect. That's a fantastic answer. Crop means to cut out the bottom half of the photo so that only the child's face is showing. Beautiful. It means to remove or adjust the outside edges of an image to draw the viewer's eye to the subject. Basically, oh my, means to remove the parts you don't want. Excellent. I love it. You will go and edit the photo and make it smaller to where then there is only shows the face, and that is cropping it. Perfect. To cut out the parts of the picture you don't want. Perfect. My definition of crop is to edit the size of an image. Excellent. Cut out some of the picture so you can focus on the kid. You guys, these are fantastic answers. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. All right, let's take a look at your photos. Let's see. Let's see what our what we chose as framing and see if that how we did there. Framing, let's see. Now, when something is framed, we should be able to know exactly what the subject is. Framing here. Okay, good. So we have the ball in the front and we have the glove behind it. Notice how the picture is cropped, which in this case, we're using the crop as the framing for this picture. Excellent. We know exactly where to look. Another great example of framing, they're using the arch of the tree that's fallen. That is the frame for the mountain behind it. Beautiful. The banana and the fruit is framed by having the wall cover one side. Nope, no preview available there. Oh, so we have the cherry blossoms around the tree framing the mountain. It looks like probably Mount Fuji back there. Beautiful. Here we have, as we're looking through the cave, we have another mountain back there. So the inside of the cave is framing the mountain. Beautiful photo. Here we have the people are being framed by the outside of the chain. So we know exactly where to look. This would be a really hard picture to know where to look if we didn't have that chain there. I don't know what's happening here, but he's cute. Okay. Here we have a building that's being, a beautiful building back there being framed by the arch. You guys, these are fantastic photos that you found. These are some frames. This is why we frame our pictures. So whatever is in the frame is the thing you're supposed to look at. So these are frames. The picture is not framed, but these are frames. Okay. And let's take a look at our last question that we did. Let me move this all the way over there. Okay, the last one said, what does leading the viewer's eye mean to you? What does this mean? So here are some of our answers. Drawing the viewer's eye can be shown like lines leading to something specific. Good, so the lines are leading to something specific. Leading lines to lead to the main point of the photo. Excellent. The main point of the photo is the subject, and that's helping us get there to see it. It means it shows something beautiful. Photo to catch the viewer's eye. Excellent. Catching the viewer's eye by something beautiful. That could be it. Something that is interesting and it's leading to something. All right. It means to make the viewer look at a certain point. Yes, you're making somebody look at a certain place. Good. The picture is drawing the viewer's eyes to the sunset and the trees on the side. Excellent. It's such a good leading line picture. It will draw the viewer's attention, especially to the beautiful sunset. That is true. You guys, these are fantastic answers. This picture is drawing me to the end of the tracks to the sunset. Yes, that is leading somebody's eyes. You're telling them where they're supposed to be looking, so they don't have to be confused. You thought you were supposed to upload one of our photos. You had one with the ski vest, and that was the best one I could find. Oh, no problem, Olivia. No problem. You put an old photo from your cat. Funny. Okay. So this gives me a good indication that you guys should be very successful in this assignment, because these are the things that we're supposed to be doing when we are taking our pictures and putting them together in the slide presentation. So we know what we know now. We know that we understand what cropping means, what framing means, and leading the viewer's eye, because you guys did a really good job. What is another word for crop? Cropping a picture is the same as, what do you guys think? What are some other words you could use, Aaliyah? Taking out? Good. Taking out. Yes. Cutting. Good. Yes. Cut, taking out. Some people said editing. Sometimes something like zooming into the photo. Perfect. Wonderful. Zooming in. Good. Excellent. Slicing. Yeah, Fruit Ninja. I love it. Slicing. Good. And how about framing? What are some other ways you could say framing a picture? I need to make sure you frame this picture, or this picture has nice framing. Yes. Oh, I like it. Something surrounding what's important to the picture. Outlining. Good. So surrounding the picture, outlining the picture. I love it. That's great. An actual picture frame outlines it, doesn't it? And it really makes it stand out. We're going to be using the crop tool to frame our photo, so we know exactly what the subject is, which should be a letter. And the last, leading the viewer's eye. Oh, something around the perimeter. Excellent, Kaylee. Yeah. And then leading the viewer's eye. What are some other ways we can say leading the viewer's eye? Here we're using leading lines to lead the viewer's eye. Some of you guys said telling you what the person should look at. Leading to the most important part. Excellent. Leading lines that lead to the subject. Excellent. Yes. So there's usually something in the picture we want people to notice. And if you take a picture and people go, what am I looking at? Then you probably aren't leading their eye to where it needs to go. So that's when you would start pulling out all your tools, leading lines, or contrast, or size, or foreground. You would have to do something to make it, to lead the viewer's eye where it needs to go. All right, how'd you guys do on it? How are you guys feeling about understanding this? Tell me in the chat with an emoji, just an emoji. If you have a sad emoji or a mad emoji, I know you probably didn't do great. If you have a happy emoji, maybe you're just feeling good about it. You're like, yeah, I did it. Just tell me in the chat with an emoji. I'm going to put one in there. If you don't know how to put emojis in the chat, you just click in the chat, and then you can 2-finger click or right click, depending on what you're on, and choose the emoji keyboard. It's funny. All right, Seth, you're feeling good. Excellent. Aaliyah's good. Angel's good. Phoenix is feeling good. Riley can't handle emojis. We got some smiley faces. Okay. It looks like some of you guys are feeling really good about this. Me too. I'm feeling really good about how you guys did on your pretest. So I'm excited to see how this assignment turns out, because I think you're going to be fantastic. The hardest thing about this assignment is making people be able to see and read what you took pictures of. These are some great examples of the way the photos are cropped and framed, and that the viewer's eye can see the letter instantly. So the first one says Armstrong. These are all perfectly cropped and framed. And then the next two say Aaron and Zach. Again, all these letters are really easy to read because of the way that they're cropped. So these are some great examples. Will you mute yourself, Isaiah? Please?
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I forgot to mute myself.
Okay, so here we have the letter E made out of some curly cues. They cropped out the rest of whatever was there. Same with this flower. This is a really important crop, because if you had the whole other petal here, it would not look like the letter K. It would look like a flower. So it's really important that you cut off this petal to give it the look of the letter K. And same with the tennis shoes. If you took a whole picture of your whole top of your shoe and you didn't crop it appropriately, it wouldn't look like the letter K. It would just look like a shoelace. And no one would really understand. But now when I see this picture, the way that it's cropped, I understand that it's the letter K. So these are great examples. I'm going to crop, this is my house, this is the banister, and I thought it looked like the lowercase r. Are you guys seeing it a little bit? So I'm going to crop it until you guys tell me you think it looks like it's supposed to look. Let me try this. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to double click. You can crop your pictures in Google Slides. What do you think about that? Does that look like a lowercase r yet? It's
no,
good?
it looks like a K that's not finished yet. It's just like that. That's not an R yet.
If you think it looks like a K, should I try to make that go up a little bit?
Try to get the top of the ring in there.
Get rid of this?
Yeah, lift that up.
Lift it up, okay. How about that?
If you get the tip, I feel like it'll look nicer.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Is this looking good? All right. Okay, so when you guys are doing your letters, that's the kind of stuff you're going to run into. This next one that I'm going to do, this is also in my house. I'm going to try to make it look like the letter C. So now it's going to be your turn, guys, to take some pictures and edit the pictures, cropping them to frame out the letter. That's going to be one of the most important parts. Let's take a look really quick at the rubric. All right, so now that we've seen the rubric, we've seen all the assignments, I know that you guys know how to crop and frame appropriately, so we should be good to go. Remember, you can take your pictures big and then just crop them in Google Slides like I did. So don't worry about taking a really tiny photo. You can always do that editing in Google Slides. All right, let me stop presenting and then answer your questions. Us in class, we're going to be leaving to go take pictures, so I do have to close the meeting up. So I need you to ask your questions now.